All right, Brandon, here we are, man.
Let's do it.
So, I told you a little bit about what I want to do with this. Essentially, is just a content series called Motivational Person of the Week, where I just interview, some inspiring people who have inspiring philosophies on their life and just kind of have a conversation and see kind of what happens.
Word.
So I want to start off and go right into just like massage and where. I was thinking about this question as you were coming over. Where do you think that, what called you to massage? What was that first domino?
I would think that because when I had done massage with either a girlfriend or like a friend at like a drinking event or something like that, just casually, people are like, yo, you're pretty good at this. You should do massage therapy. But it's the same thing where it's like people say you're funny and they're like, you should be a comedian. It's like that, but like really?
Yeah.
And so I was at, what was it? I think, because of my job in physical therapy, I really liked that patient relationship that I had learned how to develop. So I was like, I love working with these patients. They're the best part of the job, even when the employees are whack and everything's crazy. So I was like, I would love to find a career that can maintain that patient relationship, but I don't want to go to school for 2 years to be a PTA. Like I took a look at that and I was like, that's not my type of education. I don't want to do that. PTA or PT is much further. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I'm like, even though I love the work, I just see the note-taking, the everything else that they have to do. And it's like, there's so many other responsibilities with the job that they can't even enjoy what they joined it for.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I don't think I want to do that. And so I was like, I want to be able to stay in my community as I get older. And I thought it was going to be with coaching as the main thing. But even as a coach, even though I figured out how to do it and got better at it, I was like, I don't necessarily think this is, even though I can do it and I like doing it, it's just like not every football player becomes a coach type of thing.
Yeah,
and so
right,
it's
right.
only a few people are really called for it. So I definitely think that I'm good at that, but I didn't think it was like the thing I really wanted to bring about with myself. So I've just been kind of keeping an open ear and an open eye about what I really wanted to do with that. And then when Cece came into therapy that one day, she had just planted that small seed of like, hey, I just did this and I really like it. And I was like, well, dope, we're the same age, you went to my school. Like, I don't know why it just resonated with me with that. And then I started thinking about how if I did do massage, that's something that's only a 10-month course. I don't have to necessarily do all the take anatomy and physiology 265s and all that stuff, and it's close to home. I went in there and I was like still unsure, so I was like, okay, what are baby steps I can take, because it's a big decision. So went in there, got a massage just to see, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I talked to the lady. Dawn was super encouraging and stuff like that. Talked to my family a little bit and just took a look at myself, and then after taking those little steps, it kind of made me feel better. I was like, okay, like I think this is something I actually want to do. So just seeing that it met the criteria of I can help my community with drinking, I'm going to be able to do it in a way that isn't super, super expensive, and I don't have to take all the dumb classes I don't want to. And and I still get to have that patient relationship, and I was like, boom, all my boxes are checked. And then,
that's what's up.
Yeah, I was really pumped about that.
You really started from that angle of wanting to serve that other person. And I really enjoy that because my reason for going into massage therapy was not as I don't know what word to use there, but it wasn't as
I never thought about how you got into it. I've just assumed you've been, for some reason I just think you've been doing it forever.
No, definitely not. No, I started because I wanted to make a lot of money, bro. That was literally like, and then I'm into this position now where I talk about like, material things aren't worth, like as much, and it's like, I just was so wrong. Like I was backpedaling. I was playing defense. I started massage because I've been 3 years out of school. Like I'm watching my friends getting ready to like graduate college with their cool, awesome degrees, or they're starting internships, or they're maybe launching a new career, or getting their first salary. And I'm like, dude, I'm behind. Like I need something. And then I was like, oh, massage therapy. It's 10 months. I could make $50 an hour. Like this is completely vain, but like I'm gonna do it anyway. Like this, it was going in for the wrong reasons, but I came out for the right ones. Like I absolutely feel like after 3 months into the program, my entire mood and attitude shifted towards why I was really there. So that leads me right into the next question, Brandon. Is and a little plug for Lakewood. So Brandon and I both have gone to Brandon's finishing up the program in Port Huron, the massage school called Lakewood School of Therapeutic Massage, for anyone that wants to know. It's located in Port Huron, Michigan. Where was I going with that? I was all excited about giving him a plug, and then yes. So how has your experience changed from the start of class to what it is now? Because it sounds like you're going for the right reasons. Like you're trying to build this client relationship. What have you learned from your initial interaction with the school to like where you are now, which is a month from graduating?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it in the beginning was I want to join this to help athletes in my sport, specifically for that demographic, to help them do their best, because nobody in my sport knows how to take care of themselves. So somebody's got to get in there and do that crap. So I'm like, there's a need that needs to be met, and I would be the first person to meet that need in our community in that fashion. At least that is also a trigger.
Yeah.
So that was my initial thing and stuff, and then as I've gone through school, I realized, number one, I need the work. I'm like the biggest mess I come across. And I'm like, oh, geez. So nothing like obviously super prominent, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's I need to take care of myself before I can take care of others. So it definitely brought an awareness from the beginning that not only am I there to take care of others, but it is also changing the way that I look at myself. And I've been eating healthier than I ever have. I've been trying to really make sure I've been staying with, even if I don't do a lot of exercises, just staying consistent with some stretches and stuff, because I'm like, I want to practice what I preach.
Yeah.
And I've learned that this is my utensil. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to take care of this. And also because, no offense to massage therapy, it's not as easy to get health insurances and stuff like that too. So also because I want to practice what I preach, but if I stay healthy, it furthers the security of, if I take care of myself, I don't have to go to the doctor as much.
Right.
And if I'm taking care of my teeth, I don't have to go to the dentist as much, type of thing. So I've learned how to take care of myself a little better throughout the program, but I think the spiritual aspect was definitely number one, because definitely joined for the physical, trying to help people heal their bodies. But I mean, even from our sessions, from the sessions I've had with my family and the sessions I've had with my one friend who, her brother passed away recently, and we did a session just for the emotional side of things. I never realized how much I was going to be able to be one of the vessel for God and being able to speak spiritually and stuff like that. And I definitely believe that in the spiritual world, though, that God will give you gifts, but you know, it's not going to be all for you. So it's like I may have had this gift for my hands, and I think that I'm going in it to heal with my hands, which is already a gift and stuff. But then to be able to take that and use it for the good of God and speaking into people's lives in ways that they need, that I don't even understand most of the time. But that was the biggest surprise curveball at all. It's just like learning guitar, and the next thing you know, I'm learning a worship song, and I'm like, oh, God, sneaky like that. So I definitely think that if there was the biggest one, I would say the spiritual side of things, being able to use it's funny, I joined for my body, but I ended up using my voice. And so that was probably the biggest thing for sure.
That's one of my favorite things about your work is your ability to step aside from, gosh, like yourself, and even in the moment, like I really feel you have a unique way of communicating whatever somebody needs from you. Call it God, universe, creator, source, non-denominational. I think, and I haven't, heard personally from anyone else, but the many sessions that I've experienced, for you to be able to speak over me in a way that you have no idea what I've been internally going through, and then to hit like precisely the nerve. It's almost like getting to that trigger point, literally precisely feeling that emotional chord, and to strike it and to rub it and to clean it is an astounding skill. And that's what I'm so excited about, more and more people to really receive your work, because like I said, you got like a month left, and just to see what you're going to do in this community from the spiritual side, I mean, and the physical side, because the physical work that you do is also super talented. I mean, dude, like your palpation skills, everything is like, you're super in tune with yourself, and it makes sense why what you're saying about what you're learning through massage is your body awareness. And just a side note here for someone who doesn't know, what is tricking?
The way I'll describe tricking to most people is that it's gymnastics, there is martial arts, which is where it was actually derived from, like sport karate scene, and then there's also elements of breakdancing and stuff like that. So breakdancing, gymnastics, martial arts, and this fancy blend, but technically it was sport karate. People just got tired of all the political drama of like, it's $5,000 to enter a competition, and like my team versus your team type of thing. They just wanted to do flips. So then they broke off, they got rid of the weapons, they started doing the tricking portion, which is where you see like bee twists from like the Shaolin monks and stuff. And then next thing you know, now they're doing back handsprings because they see in gymnastics, and then they start combining the things. And then since there's no competition, there's no money to be won, so everybody shares all the information, so all of us grow together infinitely. And it's still like that. There's no salary-based triggers. I've gone to events, even my biggest wins, like I got to do that ESPN win in 2018, and it's like, as far as the scale goes, that was really high. All they did was they paid for my weekend to be there, and I got like to bed, but I didn't go home with like a fat paycheck. I went to work on Monday. So it's like, it's cool because there's no, I'm hiding information from you because I need to win this to make my salary to keep my lifestyle. It's like, hey, we're all doing our own thing. Let's share that information. So it's been a cool way that everybody still and it still grows exponentially. Like, people are taking in new concepts every day, and so it really is a mesh of like mainly those three components, but there's capoeira in there and stuff like that. So
if you want to become Avatar: The Last Airbender, we need to come to you.
Yes, actually, my friend Micah Carnes is the lead acrobat for Cobra Kai or whatever. If you see Cobra Kai, anytime somebody's doing a flip, it's my friend Micah.
That's what's up.
And he's super dope. If anybody's gonna be it should be him. So he's so beautiful with his tricks.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah,
something I wanted to, let's go back into spiritual, so because this is a new concept I'm starting to understand in my own practice too, is like, what is a spiritual massage? And like, so what does spirituality and massage, how do they blend? How does that look like for you? How would you explain that to someone else who is looking for a massage, for that next level experience? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so like, how would I if somebody's asking how do I incorporate the spiritual into it?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. How would you incorporate spirituality into your practice or your massage? And this is a new concept that I'm learning as well.
Yeah, that's true. I just start pouring oil all over. Anointing oil. But I think that I guess if I had to explain it to somebody and stuff, it's usually, I try to relax their physical body to a state of receptiveness. And then from there I feel. Because some people get relaxed, but they don't feel like somebody that's like, I don't feel it. It's like an actual, I call it Holy Spirit, other people intuition, whatever you want that. Whatever that push is from the inside that's clearly different than me just thinking, should I or should I not? Like, it's something that comes up and it's like, there's something that's challenging me in an uncomfortable and a vulnerable way, but it needs to be said, and I don't even know how I'm going to say it or what I'm going to say. So when I feel like that type of emotion, that's usually the signal that it is going to, like, I'm not going to know what I'm going to say. I might have a hint of like one word, like for the last time we talked, it was relationship, and that's all I knew. And then I went into it, and that was it. So it's like there'll be a tiny hint, and so pretty much whenever I'm working with somebody throughout the session, you'll begin to feel their energy, and then sometimes it'll happen in the middle, and I'll try to save it, or if I've even said it at the very beginning of a session, because I was like, usually I wait this till the end. It just feels like it needs to happen now. So a lot of it really is just trying to be in touch with yourself and being in that receptive state, and trying not to figure it out too much, because I'll kind of just go until it shows up, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Because it doesn't happen with everybody, like you're saying.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
And so and I've definitely just kind of, and I've never had a bad experience with it yet, so I really do trust that into it. It's not like I've ever been, hey, I feel like I need to speak a word to you, and I don't know how you feel about blah blah. It's never been like then they're like, no, you're kind of weird. I don't know. So it's always led me the right way. So, and it's worked for everybody that it's seemed to go for. So I try to just let it do its thing. So mostly it's just do the body work, give it a chance to let the spirit enter, and then if it does and when it does, let it do its thing. I just try to be a vessel and let it go its course. So
and that's like the true wisdom, I feel, of what the healer archetype really tries to do, and that's what they really get to us through school. It's like they want us to say, like, it's not us doing this work. Even healing is a touchy word, even in this field. You know, they try to not let us,
because they don't want you to be responsible if it's bad too. So,
Well, and I feel like it's even I want to even say it's like a legal term. Like, we're not even allowed to say I can heal you, because it creates a
It's a bold claim.
Yeah, it's a bold claim that there's like something legal to that, and it's like, I didn't even know that was a real thing for a while. But now I'm coming back into this new idea of what healing is, and it's so subjective. It's for that other person. I never like how you perfectly described that. I never want to own that space for myself, but it's just an openness and allowing that energy to kind of flow through you. And that sounds hippy dippy, but it's like, it's something I wrote about this morning with spiritual massage. Is like, I'm like, how do I explain this to someone? How do I really let people know what to expect or what is even out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like spiritual massage to me is like your personal development practice. It's who you are as a person, like how well am like I spiritually evolved in myself. You're gonna receive that benefit on a massage table. Like it's all of my years of self-awareness, personal development, working with my spirit, my breath work, my cold plunges, my everything, all of this goes into this work. And I think those people who can take their own personal transformation to another level, that's what they're also trying to give in this spiritual session, is this openness of myself, because that's what massage therapy has done for me, is it has transformed my life. Like how you're saying, it's increased your body awareness, you've changed your lifestyle habits, and you just want to give that. I just want to give that to my clients. I want to create this I want to give them this new space that I found, in myself. So yeah,
I think that's a great way to I think if somebody hears what we just said, they would be like, okay, yeah.
And it's like and it's a great point too that you say try not to figure it out, because right now I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm trying to explain it, but it's like the biggest thing I would say to anyone that is even curious about what a spiritual massage would be is like, I believe everyone has a spirit. So the thing isn't about who does spiritual massage. It's how well do I trust my therapist? So teaching clients to find therapists that work well for them and that they can trust, because ultimately it's in that trust that beautiful thing happens. And I think that's what we do, so well.
That's absolutely true.
So now I want to get into a little bit of questions that I've written down. We're just going to change it up real fun. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, man! I've always been a blue boy for sure. Yeah. But in the recent years, like my car LEDs are always on like this neon style purple. It's actually like this style of purple.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is. Like I think that something about that wavelength has been attractive to me lately, and so even on my keyboard at home, I can change the colors on the keyboard. I'll make it like it goes through the spectrum of blues to like the darker pink, I guess, but that's just been sitting in that violet rays for the last little bit. And so my computer, my mouse, and my keyboard are always running on violet.
I love that.
And so is my car. So all the LEDs in my life have been revolving around a violet wave. And I don't know if that has any meaning behind it or anything, but that's just been what's been resonating with me.
And we've talked about it before that you kind of resonate really well with colors. Is that what you said before? Like you
I do get them pretty often in visions and stuff, and sometimes they'll come in the form of like sand that will go through me, or it'll be smoke, or it'll even change texture and stuff. But yeah, like when you said, I believe it was like pink, yellow, and red, or I can't remember the exact three, but I still have a permanent vision of when you told me that I was walking through clouds and my mind made a runway, and it was like reds, blues, and oranges or something, or reds, oranges, and pinks. It was basically fall colors. I think it was red, yellows, and oranges. Okay. And then I just remembered having this vision. I'll spare the length of the vision, but basically I ended up running from that vision in a way that, and then ever since I ran from that, I remember running back down that trail of clouds, and the clouds were red, yellows, and oranges. And even when I've gone on runs since then, and if I'm having like a hard time, I feel like I'm living out that vision when I'm running, because I would close my eyes and I would just be running down the street with my eyes closed. And obviously there's no cars, but so I'm running but when I'm running and my eyes are closed, I feel like I'm running in that vision. And I don't know if that means that in my life I'm in that transition of the run, because I just ended my last relationship. I gave up certain things, and I believe that and in that vision there was a letting go of things, and there was people watching me and type of things. So when I took off running, I literally after I'd broken up with my last girlfriend, I went running, and when I was running, I just felt that strength so strong of that vision of me running. And so I remember how the rest of the vision went, and I'm curious to see what that will end up leading to, or if that's just me playing with the vision or anything like that, because I can't choose how it fulfills itself or what it even means. But all I know is that when I run and I close my eyes without choice, I just see those clouds and those colors.
You're leading me to this beautiful realization of I want to applaud you so much of being so receptive to the work that body work can offer, and I want to pick your brain about that in hopes that maybe it inspires future clients, future people who are getting massages. like, how can I capture this? Like, how would you describe to be the best client? Like how, what steps does it take to get these visions? What steps does it take to get this intellect to dissect the meaning of these visions? It's like, it's an artist, it's a poetic sort of thing. Is this something that has always been a part of your life, your ability to just like see meaning in everything?
Yeah, I've been a visionary. I've been a seer from a young age. So I guess I'll try to make like a longer story shorter. But when I was a kid, I would watch Dragon Ball Z, I think is what it started with. And I had like a very, what was it called? A hostile environment, because my mom was not with the right people and stuff like that. I went to like 7 elementary schools, so we talked about how we moved and stuff. But my mom was a yeller and stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I would hide and I would watch Dragon Ball Z. And when I was in a situation where stuff was going down and it was like pretty intense, I would isolate myself mentally, and I would have these visions that were so strong that my mom calls it my hand thing, and my sister will catch me do it, and so I would be like this, and I'd be making noises with my mouth. But when I was in that mode, I could not, there was nothing else out here. I would see Dragon Ball Z, and and the noises I would be making were like the of like what they were doing and stuff, so I would be so in the zone that I would only see that, and I couldn't even hear things one time. I still have a very vivid memory of the one time the air conditioner, I was in the car and I was doing it, and I remember turning my head and then the music came back to me. I could hear the music in the car, and I was like, holy crap. And so my mom always thought maybe there was something, maybe my kid's autistic. He's like, he's doing this in the corner. She literally calls it the exorcist shit. So she's like, you're doing that exorcist shit with your hands. But so I did that when I was a little kid, and then it started off with Dragon Ball Z. She took me to the therapist, and then they said that they think that it's like a coping mechanism for him not to deal with the environment around him. So he's going inward, and so because he doesn't want to hear everything that's going on, and so and that's before phones and Game Boys and all that shit. So I didn't have anything. So I would do that, and then eventually the visions progressed. So it was really strong when I was a kid. It's not nearly as strong now, but I could make it if I tried really hard. But I try not to try because then it doesn't work. But so anyways, when I got older, I started playing video games more, and I never had a choice on what the vision would be. Whatever it would, like Dragon Ball Z is just what I loved, so it would be in my vision. And then when I started playing video games, Halo 3 specifically, as I got older, my vision went to that. And so even in school, I'd get in trouble. At work, I would get in trouble for like sitting because I'd be bored. And when I get bored, I'd go in my zone, and then my hands would be moving, and you'll see tricking videos of me online where I'm standing in the corner and I'm just like, and my eyes will be like doing some weird crap. And it's cool because like back when I was younger, I thought it was bad and stuff, and now I feel like this little gift that I've been given. But I always knew that whatever because I was so obsessed with Dragon Ball Z, and then when video games came, I was so obsessed to the point that like I've got really, really good, but I would always have those visions, and I would have no choice in those visions. They would just come. And then when tricking entered the scene, it went right back to full intensity, and I literally did not have full control of my consciousness for definitely the first 3 years, and I think it took me 5 years to finally stop being so handsy about it. But anything I ever saw, because it would like black out, I'm like watching myself. And I watched myself from this third person view with a vision, and I would see myself doing tricks that I had not done yet, and every single thing virtually that I ever saw, I did. And ever since then, I would just, and it was no choice. Like I would just be in school, I would be like doing my thing, and then I would just, that was what I really cared about in life. So like I always said to God, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe, whatever my hands are freaking out to, that's where my heart is. Wow. And so I have had some slight visions. It's funny, recently, Fortnite. Been having some visions about Fortnite. I have no control over what it's. You know what I'm getting really good at now? Fortnite. And I can't stop. I want to play it in guitar. And so those two things. And it's funny because massage, I don't have it as much yet, and I know that I will. But so it's like whatever my heart is currently the most intense about, I will have strong enough visions to where my hands will move. And so I've just tried always listening to that. But I think because of those visions that I've had, and the way that they talk about it in like the spiritual world and stuff. Like people back in the day used to value visions a lot more. And so
bring it back.
Bring it back. And so ever since being like a kid and noticing it, I think it's just always been since that very first experience with the cartoons, my route or my brain's immediate response is to like go to visions. And then as I got older, like that skill set, just because I've always spent so much time doing it, I think that was my natural, like I go to visions because I know some people are really auditory, like they can remember and hear things, like or something like that, or they will hear spoken things. Even if they're not physically audible, something like that, they'll hear voice, like type of thing, but I'll get images and stuff. And so I definitely think that they'll even say like in the Bible, like all interpretations belong to God type of thing. And there's like this whole thing about Pharaoh getting his dreams interpreted, and he's like, I can interpret your dreams, but it's not me interpreting them, it's the spirit. And so even when I do have visions and stuff, I don't try to act like I know the answers or whatever, because I remember you gave me one where I'm on a boat, I'm playing guitar, and we're heading out. I still have a vision of that, and that was before I played guitar. Now I play guitar, and I'm like, I don't know if that even had anything to do with that, or if I was on a ship that I don't know where I'm going, and now I do play guitar, and I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. Like, could that be something? Probably. Do I know for sure? I'm not 100% sure. So I'll have the vision, but I don't try to answer it. I'll like give it up to the spirit. I'll just give it time, and whether it's God, universe, I'll just try to let him slowly reveal certain pieces of the puzzle. And it's been like, some of them take years.
Right.
And so, but it definitely took me, I would say, as far as like, if I have to, like you were saying, getting a client in a position to be good at that or something.
Thank you for that. That's great.
Yeah, the cycling it back around. I would say I'm not that great at it initially, like in the beginning, because I'll like think about it. I'm like, oh, I'm good at vision, so like I wonder when it's gonna come. Then I'm thinking, well, I wonder when it's gonna come, or like, oh, like Troy's doing such a good job. I hope I like, because you'll give me the compliment of receptiveness, but it's funny. I won't feel good at being receptive until I actually am just receptive. But it's like up until I get to that point, it's just like somebody that feels like crap all the way until they do something successful, and they're like, dude, you like the way you did that, it all looked like it just flowed. It's like I was a mess inside. So. I'll even feel bad about it. So it's like monkey mind, you're definitely going to have it. It's not like I get on the table and just enter that state of no thinking. So I definitely have like, I don't know how many minutes or how long it is or whatever, but I definitely have a long enough, just like any meditation. So I would say that meditating in the past, because I don't do it nearly as much anymore, but I was a meditator for a little bit. That got me better at doing it. But trying not to figure it out helps, because I'll get excited about a vision and then I'll like try to see like, oh, this is where it's starting, like, and he gave me that setup, so like, where's he gonna play? So I try making it happen, and then it won't necessarily work. So the less is more concept definitely comes into play, and getting more than one massage with the expectation of visions for sure, because I don't know if you care about talking about this, but like the first time I ever smoked weed for the first time, I had this big idea of like, oh, I think it's gonna be like this or blah blah, and then I smoked it and I was like, I don't even really feel much of anything. It's just not. And so like I had this huge expectation. I thought I was trying to figure it out, and like I didn't even feel much of anything. But then by the third or fourth time, I was like, oh, so instead of me trying to take what I thought it was going to be and display itself, I just finally gave up. I was like, oh, so this is actually what it is. And so I would recommend anybody who's, if they're thinking like this could facilitate visions that could be spiritual or something like that, definitely give it more than one shot. And if you can do any sort of meditating on your own too, that would definitely be a double whammy for sure. So
and it sounds like too that I'm going to call it a superpower, because that's exactly what it is. Your ability to see, like your visual clarity is so, your imagination is so strong. Dude, because of your environment. It was yours, Brandon specific. So someone like you said could have amazing sound where it's almost like sonar, like they just have another sixth sense of listening to things, and they can see where maybe things are. So maybe it's less about trying to be a visionary or let this work, bring you visions, but really let yourself be open. Like just let yourself relax fully on the table and just see what happens. Do you hear more? Do you see more? Do you feel like, because sometimes I can feel my heartbeat in my toes and my entire body, like my entire senses are so much stronger. So maybe it's not just about being a visionary. Maybe it's just about
that receptiveness for sure.
Just open up your heart. Like, and that's why it's so important to find a therapist that you trust, because once you build that trust, then you can say, all right, let's figure this out. Let's try something different. Let's just see what happens. And those are my favorite massages too, Brandon. It's like not needing a necessary result. Like someone comes to me and and I haven't built up an awareness quite yet of when this happens, but it's after the fact that I'm looking back like, oh, that was the best massage, because there was no real goal at the end. They know that massage is a great wellness practice, and it's something that they want to do. They know it's going to help. Maybe they have some general soreness, but it's after the fact that like there was no pressure. There was no like goal to it. And there's so many amazing therapists who do great like rehabilitation work and do therapeutic stuff, like, hey, my arm doesn't rotate, help me rotate it. That's great. But my focus is more on, and I kind of sense that's what we're talking about, is on this spiritual aspect of allow yourself to be open, receptive, and just feel the creativity that we're putting into this work. I want to ask another question, because I think it's and I want to keep this around 30 minutes. I know we're like pushing 30 right now, but I have a couple more questions. How, okay, describe Brandon in third person.
Oh, in third person?
Yeah. Who is Brandon in third person?
Would it be like, so describing Brandon from my own vision on my own self from a third person
Exactly. Like,
perspective?
take yourself out of yourself and then talk about yourself as though you were talking about me, right? Like, I have my friend Troy. It's like, well, I have my friend Brandon. Like, who is Brandon? Because Troy, Troy always talks in third person. Like, so I find that as a common ground I want to like find with other people. So how would you describe yourself in third person?
Oh, in the third person, man. It's interesting because in the first person, I'll always feel the doubts and the blah blah blahs and stuff like that, and this, that, or the other thing, or like the classic, I feel like I'm doing so much but not enough at the same time, and type of thing like that. I'll go through my wars in my head, or like, am I actually learning the things I need to learn? Did I internalize what God's given me, or the universe, whatever we'll call it?
Yes.
And so I'll go through all that stuff. But from the third person, just like you've said before, when I said I felt a certain way, you were like, you know, man, I just don't see it. And so that's kind of like, if I were to look at myself from a third person, despite all the ups and downs type of thing, I'd be like, I just don't see that. Because it's like, at the end, if I look at my track record, like every time I go back and look at my history, it's definitely been overcoming things, and it's definitely not on my own, but it's like, to be able to come to Port Huron homeless at 12 and then to be on ESPN by 22, like 10 years later, I'm like, holy crap. And so there's this blend of like, I'm watching myself from a third person. I feel like in my mind, I'm like just watching what God's doing in my life, or whatever you want to call it. Because some of the stuff is just so amazing that I'm like, aside from just my own power, there's just so much going on. But I've definitely, Brandon's got some gifts in relationships. I've watched that guy go through and just make such communities with the people at school, with the tricking community, at work, with something like this on an intimate level. And I have Canadian, so Brandon's definitely a man of relationship as far as that goes. And I'm definitely a harder worker than I ever gave myself credit for, because I was a really lazy younger guy, for sure, and I still don't give myself enough credit for that sometimes. But I definitely think, if I'm looking, like, I think all of January I'm at 65-hour weeks. It's like, are you kidding me? Between school, clinic, work, and the weekend courses,
you're in the mode right
it's
now.
like in the hardest boat. And I'm like, still feeling like sometimes I'm like, oh, what did I do? And I'm like, whoa, chill, man. Like, so the third person would definitely be like, good job, Brandon, getting in there, doing that work, taking a look at things, and even making decisions when it's hard and you don't know the future type of thing. So I feel like I'd be complimenting myself in a much nicer way than in the first person, how I talk to myself. And one thing that I always liked that I had heard in a message once was talking to yourself, saying, do you know who you're talking to? Like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, not even just saying what I've gone through in the past, but like who I'm going to be in the future. So it's like, when I'm saying those things about myself in the moment of a first person, they'll be negative and blah, blah, blah. But the third person would be looking at the third person being like, do you know who you're talking about? When like, look at what you've done. Not only look at what you've done, look at what you're currently doing, and look at where that's going. Ignore all that mess, ignore the noise and stuff like that. Maybe not ignore it, because anxiety serves a purpose. It'll make you go further.
I know what you're saying.
Blah, 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 but there's a healthy emotion with that. But from the third person, I'd say Brandon's doing a good job, and even if he doesn't recognize it, he's still doing a good job. And that he's listening and he's submitting in ways that he may not even think that he is and stuff, and that the process is going as it should be, if not better. So, and I'm happy to be able to say that, because it was not always that answer.
Dude, I'm so proud of you. Like, that's some strength right there.
I appreciate that.
You just said a really amazing word that I forgot about, the power of it, and you just said intimacy. And when you said that, I realized, yes, I forgot about that concept of like something I'm trying to communicate better, of what massage is, or what type of relationship do you have with your massage therapist? And this is something that I've taken a lot of stock in trying to really understand. And I like to say it is creating a platonic intimacy. There is this deep friendship that really happens, but it's intimate. I mean,
it is.
You're on most of the times I'm butt-ass naked when I get massages, and I'm trusting this person isn't going to take advantage of me, isn't going to harm me, is literally there to serve me.
Draping gets you so close to the edge too that it's like, it's not just like you're naked under tape, like you're actually exposing.
Exactly. And so the level of care and wellness and compassion that goes into that relationship is an intimate one. And I want and when I used to say intimate, I used to get kind of like nervous, like, oh, I can't tell people that like I'm creating an intimate relationship with my clients. It's like,
right,
but reframe that. Like platonic intimacy, I think, is a real. It's a thing that comes to me when I try to explain what is happening between me and my clients. It's like, I want to get to this deep level with you because that's where the beauty of this work is. I don't want to like be afraid of intimacy because intimacy is only related to sexual things and
right. It's such a
romantic.
It's been a dirty word in the society a little bit nowadays.
And so to bring back this healthy touch, to bring back this healthy boundaries, and to this serve this person through body work, I want people to understand, and I would just even love your perspective on like that platonic intimacy is what's happening, and what would you say to that? What do you think platonic intimacy would mean to you when I say that?
I think the word platonic is the word that really like catches it and takes away the nastiness from the word intimacy, because when you say platonic, it's like, oh, despite like just a platonic friendship or something like that, like I'm friends with the girl, it is platonic. It says like, hey, there is none of the sexual, there is none of the, or so like to say platonic intimacy goes to show that like because intimacy's got a lot of emotion that comes along with it, like it's a vulnerable position. You know, you really have to trust somebody to be intimate with them. You have to know that person pretty well, and so I think that the way that it's explained, that the platonic is just perfect. I can't remember exactly how you worded it, if there was even a question in the beginning, but I just think that if you say platonic intimacy with massage, that I think that as long as they understand what platonic means. Exactly.
Do you think that captures?
I think it's perfect. I think it's on it.
Like,
that is the best way I would. If I had to explain it to somebody else, I think I'm actually going to probably use that
platonic
phrase, because it's more than just like trusting me or something like that. There's an exchange. There's an exchange of emotions. There's an exchange of skin to skin contact, which is intimate.
Exactly.
But it's platonic intimacy. So.
You know, and it's like when you said that, I realized like this intimacy. There's more than just trusting. It's almost like just as much as the client, or just as much as the practitioner, the body worker, is going into this person to serve them, the client almost has to go back into the practitioner as well. Like, I want you to serve me. Like, I want to receive what you have to offer. It's almost this, not just a trust fall, but a trust leap. Like, I'm leaping towards you, and that's kind of what this intimacy, that intimacy is. So, I have one last question. Well, I have two, but this is I have. So, at being a male massage therapist and being because we make up 12% of this industry, and I actually like love to say that stat. It's like only 12. Like, I actually really like to be that sort of minority. What do you think being a male, being a masculine dominated energy in this industry means to you, and what purpose does it serve? What kind of purpose do you serve being a male in this community and delivering this type of work?
I think it's got like kind of the same vibe of like when you hear male nurse, people are like, oh, male nurse, but then you see like some of the other traits that they bring to the table of like, if Helga's on the table, she's 200 pounds, ain't no way you bring in like some frail little lady in there. So it's like, obviously there can be a little bit more from a structural standpoint. We can, but Carol can really deliver the goods. So like, I do believe that there's like certain physical aspects that we could probably bring to the table, but outside of that, I think that male touch. One thing I think that it's healing the stipulation that like massage therapy is gay or blah blah blah, because like the older generation of men are like, I don't want a male therapist, but like every guy I've worked with that has actually like given me the chance of like, dude, you did a good job type of thing, blah blah. So like I feel like it's starting to not desensitize, but just really start to take away from the whole like this is only for females thing, and to be able to put a face on that and say like, obviously I'm not like a feminine style person or whatever, I cry a lot, but like overall though, like if I go out to my events and stuff like that, when people see me, they're gonna be like, oh, this is a dude just like doing body work, like this is not a like going to a spa, females only, this type of thing. So I feel like it's bringing a better name to massage, which I think is cool, and I'm glad to be a reflection of that, because I believe that you and I both do a pretty good job of that. We're not weirdos, because I know that does happen. So I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
If I can serve the community and show them that like, hey, you can be a massage therapist that's not weird, that's not overly feminine or something like that, that you can try to balance out that feminine masculine energy and the whole field and stuff, would be a really cool thing to be able to do. And I think that as we get older, it's going to show more people that like, if a dude comes to my event and he's like, let's say he's like a 13-year-old kid that's just part of the community, and he's like, oh, I got worked on by Brandon, and like, let's say Troy joined, like, there's 2 people doing a clinic together.
Yeah.
It's like these 2 dudes doing a massage therapy clinic and stuff. He's not thinking boy, girl, anything, blah, blah. All he's going to think about is, I really liked that work. I like what they did. Yeah. I could even maybe do that when I get older. There's no thought of boy, girl, anything.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, as we're out there representing and stuff, we can do it in a healthy way that will, if anybody else is curious about the field, hopefully it will show them that there's no deterrent of, like, I'm a guy, I just don't know about it. Hopefully that thought will just leave and they can see it for what it's truly worth.
Exactly.
So that's a really cool thing to be able to bring out with that.
Yeah, and I love that take to help change the what's that word? The stigma around what massage therapy is with men. I want to say, like, it's such a, like, oh God, I'm losing my train of thought. It's like getting to the end.
I understand that.
Where'd it go? Come back. Being masculine, having this masculine energy in this work is such a beautiful thing, just because it's like, when I do get work from like a male massage therapist, it's almost like there's an even deeper respect and understanding. Like, I almost feel like I can be more held from another man, just because they understand the, I don't want to say like a struggle of being a man, but just like how women have their own things that we don't have. Like, there's almost that concept. Like, when I get work, it's like, oh, this man, like, where most men in my life I've seen to be, like, when I first, my childhood is like aggressive and like you know, I have to be a jerk to get girls. So like I'm
work hard. You come home, ignore your
macho,
feelings.
Ignore your feelings. You can't cry. Like, you know, grow up, or like, you
walk
know,
it off.
Walk it off. Throw some dirt on it.
And, throw some dirt on there.
And so when you get when you come and get healing work from this divine masculine, this true, like, this just true feeling of what masculine energy can be, which is this security, it's this protection. And I think we're really helping bring that to the table of, like, you know, no, not all men are this macho sort of thing. They can actually come and deliver this, you know, healing sort of work, and they can be a source of just a source of healing and a source of compassion, and really to be held and, like, strong.
I know, I totally feel you, and it makes absolute sense. Like, the way that I receive your body work, I can feel that difference that you're talking about compared to the feminine. And it's definitely like they both serve their purpose and stuff, but I think to be able to bring that in is definitely going to be a way that you can facilitate some of that spiritual stuff too. Because if you're able to give them that sense of protection and be their defender or whatever, and the masculine energy has more of a natural ability to do that, then you can facilitate those spiritual instances, I would imagine, easier, because that's just the natural, like, if I make you feel secure, protected, you're going to trust me more, we're going to be able to be platonically intimate, and then you're going to be able to have those visions and stuff. So it's like, that would make sense to me, at least, that if you're feeling like you can give them that state, just by having that masculine energy for them to have, that they'll hopefully have that energy. That's a beautiful way. I guess, as you're saying it, I got a vision of this, like, this wispy sort of energy of the client that's, like, needs to be sort of unleashed, and to, like, this masculine energy just sort of unzipping this cocoon, and the masculine therapist just offers this house for this energy to kind of come out of your body and to be safe. Like, you can be vulnerable and still feel safe in this sort of presence, whereas, you know, some women, like, are afraid to walk, for good reasons, to walk outside at night in a city. It's like, I'm like, oh shit, I don't even think of that. We don't have to worry. We can go in the woods by ourselves.
Exactly.
Like, you know, I don't have to worry about getting drunk in public.
Exactly. So to be able to bring that new energy of, like, we're gonna get platonically intimate, and I'm gonna take care of you, and I'm going to serve you in a way that you deserve to be served. Whether you're a male or female on that table, like, I will deliver that same amount of protection and allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest thing too, is that it really, this game also comes down to client education and just making more of this sort of content to get it out there, to get this awareness out that male massage therapists, whether you're a female or a male, are nothing to be afraid of, and we're
100%.
Mostly the reason we're attracted to this type of work because we're gentle giants anyway.
Literally.
So, like,
once you hit over 6 feet,
you're
you
nice.
just stop caring. I don't gotta prove nothing. I'm good.
Yeah. So Brandon, I would like to finish with maybe some last, anything you want to say, anything that feels like resonating on your heart.
Oh man.
Anything.
Honestly, I'm pretty happy that you're doing this. I think that it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's going to be cool to look back, because I'm still a month out from even three weeks, whatever, from finishing school technically, to be able to just look back at this and to see in, a year, 3 years, 5 years, to be able to have this content. Super pumped to be able to even be a part of this. And it's funny because we're talking about this now, and I'm sure when we listen to this in a couple of years after all the work that we were able to do, we're going to listen and be like, oh yeah, like that spirit was flowing. And nowadays I just see it even more clear. But yeah, so as far as a message for the people, just less is more sometimes. Less is more, and there's no shame in the process at all. So we're all in this together. I'm still fumbling around trying to figure it out myself, and so we're in this journey together. I'm not a perfect man, but I'm a progressing man. So let's progress together, brother.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. That was fun. Cut!
There it is.
That's right.
How do you feel, man?
That was awesome.
That felt good.
That was really good.
That felt good.
Hell yeah. Thanks for inviting me, and it's going to make this all the better, too.
Yeah, bro. Let's go do a little schmucky.
Word. Hell yes. Do you want to push pause on this bad boy? Or?
No. Oh, yeah.